Hello? Hello? Who is it? um, it's been a little while, I think. um, I've been on a really amazing little journey, and I wanted to share about what I've been going through and what I've been processing on behalf of the collective. Yay! No. It's been quite an amazing experience that I've been going through, and not the easiest because I've been looking at myself and trying to create new things and wanting to do new things and in new ways, and pulling out all my tools, all of the tricks, and I've written a little bit about this. I've been talking about this a bit, and I've always talked about forgiveness and the importance of forgiveness. It goes even deeper than forgiveness. But I want to start out so it's a little bit easier for people to understand by sharing my story. And my story consisted of a lot of addiction in the past, of a lot of needing or feeling the need to take care of a lot of other people, making other people's responsibility mine. And even, through the phases of realizing what an empath is, and, understanding that when I feel down, it's not my energy, it's somebody else's. What's causing that? Why do I do that? Why do people do that? Is it out of love? Is it compassion? To negate our own needs and leave ourselves and give away our power to other things. I was working through a lot of, it was kind of funny because there's all these different situations that kept arising, and I kept thinking it was something else, and it was guilt. And nobody really talks about guilt. And when we talk about forgiveness, the reason why we need to forgive is because there's an essence of guilt, or there's an essence of, not being authentic with our own selves. Why do we reach outside of ourselves? And then we start, creating these different masks and, different facades and whatnot. And life is so interesting because there's so much going on right now, and there's a lot of people getting into confusion. I was getting hard on myself, harder and harder and harder and harder on myself, and I didn't know what was going on, and it was really confusing because my brain is all like super duper scientific-y, like, what the hell is it? Let's figure it out, because it's really annoying. I don't want to be hard on myself, okay? And and Carlos, I need to talk to you. And no matter how much that, we try to love ourselves, or we do the self-love, and we want to love ourselves and manifest all we want, and we want to be that ever-abundant human being, and we want to be the best we can be. But then we keep hitting our heads on a ceiling, or some sort of inner voice ping-ponging us, or it was ping-ponging myself into what's going on. And here's the thing that I realized, is that I had a belief that I adopted a long time ago where wrong was a thing. I'm just going to repeat that. A belief that wrong is a thing. When we are wrong, that means we're not good enough. When we compare ourselves to other people's standards, it means we're not good enough. We are in a society that is built off of this guilt. And it's fascinating because it even goes way deeper than this. This is like a very divinity thing. This is like an aspect of divine separation of, like, think about as being in the mother's womb. And where we, in our first age, in our first childhood development, we're very much downloading how to survive and everything. And the cells speak. So the cells in your body hear and feel what is going on. So if there's this essence of guilt, it makes it very easy to avoid this. One of my things has always been, how come healers don't heal themselves? How come people don't take care of themselves? How come I've had a hard time taking care of myself? And there was an aspect of me feeling guilty. And this guilt was causing me to want to help everybody else except for me. And I've gone through this little reshuffling and repatterning and whatnot. And please share this video because this is huge stuff. I realized not too many people look at guilt deeply. But looking at all the repetitive patterns that have been happening in my life and, the type of message that, I want to love myself and be my best person, and I want to live the life that I've ever wanted to live. And there was something that just was wrong. There was something that was wrong, okay? And if nothing was wrong, and if I was raised in a way of you are supported and nurtured and loved, and there's no such thing as wrong, there is only right, because you are actually learning to process and develop and evolve as a being, evolving as a being of light, like as a being, okay? We're here to evolve. We're here to expand. And now we have to look at the way that perceptions play into this. If we perceive a reality that says this is a status quo and this is the way that everything is, by the way, go do your schooling and then get in debt and then feel guilty because you can't pay it off. Let's suppress it. It's like this whole society is really built off of a guilt monger system. And it keeps us, here's the thing, is that it keeps us separated from fully being in here. Okay? These different things on an energetic level keeps us separating from here. And this is where we're going. We are returning to innocence. And so in this guilt game and realizing that this emotion called guilt was what was stifling me, is that I had to go, well, what is the opposite of guilt? I look at behavioral patterns similar to addictions, as that's my old story. And for a good reason, I have actually gone into, scientists and doctors, they say it's a disease, bullshit, totally disagree that addiction is a disease. I absolutely 110% disagree that addiction is a disease. What it is, it's caused from even beyond, and then I thought that it was like, my need to wanting to connect to people. But even that whole needing to connect to other people stems from a state of, I'm not good enough. Maybe I need to connect to other people, but I'm having a hard time connecting to other people, so I need a drink or a snort or something so I can connect easier because I didn't feel that I was good enough. But that good enough stems from being wrong in the past. And as we start realizing that we're never wrong, we were always taught that a wrong was there. That duality aspect of wrong and right, good and bad. Like guilt is the emotion in which these behaviors started to be created. Okay? So now even going deeper down into the addiction thing, okay? Deeper down into the addiction thing, where, there's an aspect of guilt to the person who is an addict that says, I'm not good enough. But also, I've also known that all addicts, all people who are labeled as addicts or choose to be labeled as addicts or victims or any of that, there's an aspect of guilt. This emotion. It's an emotion. It's not even a real thing. It's an illusion. It's a way that our body feels in response to perception of how we've been told and thought and been taught and raised and all these different things. So if we have this emotion called guilt that's been passed through epigenetically through different generations and generations and generations to where it has become so deeply ingrained that people don't even fucking talk about it. Like, that's how kind of obscene this is. It's really like kind of mind-blowing. I don't hear a lot of people, oh, the Catholic Church, oh, guilt. Oh, Catholic guilt. Oh, Irish guilt. No, this shit's fucking real because it creates people to behave and act upon an essence of feeling or acknowledging that there is a subconscious state of guilt going on. Okay. So here's the thing. I had to go into and go, okay, so I was like, oh my God, I'm a perfectionist. Oh, why am I a perfectionist? Well, that means something's not perfect. Well, that's interesting because logically I know that, the universe is divinely perfect. Yay. And then I kept going into, well, how come I'm trying to fix something? It's like I'm always trying to fix something that's already perfect. Well, if I'm trying to fix something that's already perfect, then that means something's wrong. And if something is wrong, then what the fuck? So I've been going through this, I've been like, literally, I felt like this mad scientist, like processing, and I was sharing a lot of these processes with the people that I live with on the property. But even going into the healing of the healer, the wounded healer, okay? The aspect of what's the difference between compassion, true compassion of being your radiant self in your own innocence, knowing but also perceiving and feeling as your innocence, no matter what you've done in the past, actualizing that. This is what I've been working on, actualizing it. Like, rather than getting on the Facebook Live and going, oh, what do people need to know? I'm like, screw that. I need to tell people about what I'm going through. Because when I was doing that, I was playing to what you needed, not what I felt was important to me. And being as authentic as I possibly could be, what I was doing was actually allowing my energy to expand and then actually taking in a lot of other things. And so that was throwing me more off and off. And the healer, healing in general, sorry if I'm like bouncing all over the place because I'm like, I'm trying to speak and you can probably just feel the energy in my space of how clear I am. Maybe not on the thought level. I'm having more of a problem because something's wrong. But anyways, in terms of, do we heal because we are compassionate, or do we feel it's our responsibility to help those who we perceive as less fortunate out of guilt? Ooh, that's deep. Okay. So now, when we acknowledge that I matter, I am enough. I matter. I am enough. And have that completely be actualized in your body. Because in our society, there is a perceived void within your heart and soul. And within the perceived void within your heart and soul perpetuates the need to seek outside of you to fill this void. And the irony is that there is no void. It's just a perception that there is a void. And this is also how capitalism works. Okay? So we can see all these different avenues, or I've been able to put this into like, okay, wow, this is some real deep shit. Also, so getting compassion and healing confused. Now, as you are present and embodying the actualization of your innocence, you're able to hold space in that bright light that can really radiate out into the world. Okay? In true presence, non-dual nature, the no right, no wrong. Everything is. If everything is a lesson, what can you learn from this and how can you evolve from it? How can you move your perception and change your perception to these ways of knowing that everything is? As we are living and breathing heart-centered beings, we are infinitely and divinely forgiven just because you have a heart and soul. Now, yes, there's people that do bad things, but we all have a heart and soul. And we're going way beyond, this is a different topic, so I won't go too deep into that right now. But as people are discovering and waking up and realizing that it's harder to be here, it's harder to be here. And as it's harder to be here, it's like the going gets tough and the tough get avoiding. But if we knew what was actually causing that original thing for it to be okay for you to avoid being here, we can trace it back to guilt. That perception of something happened, that we didn't do something right. That perception of, oh, maybe I'm being punished for being a human on this planet right now because my perception is that everything's going to shit. So now here's the thing, is that you can perceive that everything is going to shit. You can perceive that everything sucks. You can perceive that everything is drama and is awful. And I used to be that person. And I got sick and tired of being that person. It was draining. I didn't want to give up. And I knew there had to be a way. I knew there had to be a way. And I didn't give up. I paid attention. I had to. I didn't have a choice. I had to pay attention to how people behaved. I had to pay attention through working in restaurants and observing people's behavior, my family's behavior, my own behavior. I realized that a lot of the guilt in this lifetime was actually manifested and recreated because of unresolved guilt in previous lifetimes. And this is something that I know that I chose to kind of dispel and defragment. It's because I really want to know what it's like to live as innocence. To feel, breathe, see, and love in all aspects of innocence. It doesn't require forgiveness. It requires a changing of perception, allowing yourself to create a new reality. Now, if you're trying to sign up for the latest abundance class, or the latest abundance course, if you have different perceptions about how prosperity or abundance works in life, that is negating or blocking you. Say, I don't know, anybody out there ever think of how money is equating shame or guilt? So here's all these different things in terms of guilt that are all like, that can block us from achieving our greatest, most potential of being in our heart. And perhaps it's actually guilt that keeps us from being fully heart-centered. But how do we resolve that, and how do we release that? And I was talking to somebody about this the other night. Just say that you're innocent. And I'm like, but there has to be a feeling wrapped up into it, or else it will actually work against the subconscious mind. Okay? So I had to, little by little, start changing the way that I perceive things. And I realized that the energy is speeding up so much more that I could do, like, literally I've been doing like 3 sessions on myself in a day, working on this whole guilt repatterning, refragmenting, because also to heal something that was a strong, repetitive, deeply ingrained behavior, we must start acting in a new way. And as we act in a new way, no longer based on those old wounds, that is when we start kind of trudging through the swamp with the machete. We're going, hey, yeah. That was just the thing that came to me. But anyway, so with addiction, and my experience with addiction, I had to create a new reality that no longer reflected that as an addict. So I got very, very confused about 6 months ago when I was actually going through many, many addictive thoughts and behaviors that didn't actually integrate like drinking or drugs or anything like that. It was the actual mindset. And I realized what was causing it. It was guilt. It was me perceiving that this world outside of me was in deep pain. And then I was reacting. Important to call out that one. I was reacting in order to assist. I wasn't being me. I was reacting. And when we react, we're running off of our subconscious behaviors. Okay, we're running off our subconscious programs, those different stories that replay over and over and over. Okay, so, and with all of this, it's been absolutely mind-blowing. Even, they call it fear of missing out. It's amazing how easy it is to distract ourselves with technology and all these different things. And I realized this was just today. I was like, oh, it's fear of missing out. Oh, that's interesting. It stemmed from guilt. So I'm like, whoa, there's all these different things that keep replaying themselves in terms of this one emotion. Okay, so now again, to create a new reality, I realize I have to go, okay, so what do I have to do? How can I move past this? So I made a session. And it was so funny because I told the people on the property about this. They're like, oh, Danny's crazy, processing everything, But I was excited because I was having fun. I was like this little explorer journalist on the frontier of consciousness, addressing how to overcome guilt patternings and behaviors. So when we overcome these guilt patterns and behaviors, we have to start creating in a way out of the walk and talk and think and thought of feeling of innocence. That's a big, big, big thing to do. Hey, Holly, girl. Okay, so, baby steps. So then I had to go back to, there is a belief, one single, simple belief. And the belief is not an emotion. The emotion is the thing that creates the beliefs out of perception, what we see and absorb. This belief was that I had a belief that I was wrong. I had a belief that me being me was wrong. I don't know where that came out from. I had a belief that wrong existed. I had a belief that it was hard to believe in myself because I was wrong. Okay? I had a belief that wrong was a thing. And so I started to think, how come I don't focus on what is right? How come I don't focus on what is right with me? And we've heard this in different things, but I'm bringing it in a different way. The concept of wrong, you're doing it wrong. You're the bad child. You're not good enough because you're not meeting our standards as society. You're poor and don't have money. You're wrong. The American dream, you're wrong. All of these different things completely snowballed into this reality that we all manifested to push through so we can actualize our inner empowerment to overcome and start creating a new reality, this reality of innocence. And we talk about Christ consciousness and being in the heart, and that's where we're going, okay? The Heart Math Institute talks about being in the heart. Cool. But with all that stuff, there's a very, very strong kind of, I don't know if it's like a naive thing or just not wanting to look at it or pick up that rock. Okay? But that rock, and underneath that rock is this foundation of this guilt complex that has really created a lot of people's lives. Anybody else experience guilt in your life but never really acknowledge it? Or am I the only one? Okay. So, and as Holly is saying, we have to believe, and here's the thing is that I was doing my best at trying to believe, but then there was this belief that's saying, you're wrong. So I'm like, what the fuck? This is really irritating. I'm just being, and I'm still being wrong. How is that a thing? But that's how you know that something is coming up to be released and transformed and transmuted, okay? And, people said, oh, you're such a brave soul for doing this. And I'm like, somebody's got to do it. Somebody's got to do it. So, and here's the thing is that, some people really don't want to be here on this earth right now because of the perception you see that everything is wrong, okay? So now, when this is really the most glorious life that we can be living. We are all chosen. We volunteered to be here. And it is filled with delight as we move forward, and as we move through these things. The radiance and joy that you can have access to, the unlimited manifestation, the abundance that you already are. The only thing that says you're not abundant is because you're wrong. Ooh, guilt. No, but this is so fun. It's like, I'm like, holy shit. So now that I'm like defragmenting that, so I started to go into, okay, so let's really tap into gratitude now. Now that I've changed this and worked this perception like Play-Doh into the way that I want, into feeling that it's authentic. That's so important, is that we feel the authenticity of what we are believing or saying. Affirmations can really kind of fuck you up a little bit. It can fuck you up even with law of attraction stuff. Because if you go, oh my God, I'm amazing, I'm amazing, I'm amazing, but internally you feel as though that's not true, that's going to work against you. It's going to create a bigger fragment. It's going to be something's not working. I'm not good enough. I don't matter enough for the universe to think about me. I don't matter enough. That's a mindset thing that we learned. Okay? So here's the thing, is that each and every person on this planet is enough, and they do matter, or you wouldn't be here. Now, when we start imagining how do we create a new reality of innocence, the innocence does not come from the mind. The mind holds space for judgment and fear-based realities. Okay. The heart is where the innocence lay. The heart is where the innocence is. The heart is the most powerful tool that we have, the most important thing that we have. I'm not talking about your beating heart. I'm talking about your energetic heart that connects to the all infinite, all the good stuff. Okay? And there's so much magic on the other side of healing. But we have to make sure that we're healing and taking care of ourselves and acknowledging that we're enough and worthy enough and we matter to, in fact, give ourselves the attention, the love that we deserve. We weren't given manuals on how to love ourselves. We're developing them. I am developing them. Okay. So let's see. It's hard to put your ego aside and listen through the heart. And this is what I'm trying to do. Kipperly is saying. Meditation is really important to integrate the ego and to make sure that the heart can be felt and acknowledged. And a lot of these different separations, these different things that cause these different separations are different fragments of these deeper emotions that are being unlocked to be purged. So the more that we connect to the earth, the more present we can be, the more we can find that clarity of what needs to be lifted or what needs to be let go. Okay, let go being key, because holding on is a choice. Holding on to guilt is a choice. I don't want to hold on to guilt anymore. It fucking sucks. It's limiting AF. Sorry, I'm swearing a lot because I'm not putting on a show for anybody. And it's, these limitations, they're all created from fear-based realities. But here's the thing is that, the heart has always been powerful. Your hearts have always been powerful. There was a certain point during our upbringing when the mind started to take over and become more powerful. And this has actually happened in our past and past lives and everything. This separation, okay, from Christ consciousness into the ego mind. Okay, so there's a process to integrate the ego, and it's through meditation, grounding, connecting to the earth. This is why I talk about connecting to the earth so much. It's beautiful here. Not only that, a lot of people are talking about how it's all, going to hell. And I don't see that. And it's not because I'm crazy, but it's because I do the work on myself. We are all different realities walking around, different aspects of consciousness, tuning into the way that we want to perceive the world. And we have to remember that we can change the way that we perceive the world, and it doesn't make you a wrong person. It doesn't make you a naive person. I see love because I want to see love, but also I want to feel loving within myself. I want to be in my heart, and I want to be able to show other people what I see. Okay. And so with, the different media stuff and, polar ice caps melting and all this stuff and, we're being shown a lot of chaos. It's our choice to choose what you want to perceive and how, if you want to allow yourself to see or be a part of toxicity. Now, your realities are all totally different, but collectively through the heart, we have that same unification. But if one person's chaos and one person's universe, I kind of think of this as a universe, like my own being is my own universe. Okay? Just like each and every one of you is your own universe, translating experiences back into the collective. So, but as you tune in, as you tune into what it is that you resonate with, if you resonate with all sorts of chaos and abuse and victimhood stuff because of past unresolved trauma, then it's going to keep perpetuating until it forces you to go to a therapist, or it forces you to, oh my God, I need to stop drinking, or it forces you to create change. But then as you start healing yourself, you raise into a higher frequency. As you start feeling better, you're going to start perceiving a different reality that is more resonating to the new experience that you're in fact feeling now. So this is the importance of clearing guilt within my field. So I can really know that I am enough. I am enough. I don't have to try to be something different for anybody ever. I don't need to ever be insecure. I don't ever need to feel bad on behalf of another individual. That's bullshit. I used to do that all the time. I want to feel innocent, and I want to experience my life through the eyes of magic. I know that a lot of the chaos that's coming up, not only within our own world, a lot of it is because it's clearing. Things need to be resorted and situated in a new way. And the only way for that to happen is for it to release. Just like you're experiencing different emotions, lots of them often, especially in such small amounts of time lately. Okay, have you noticed that your emotions are like, oh my God, what the hell's going on? Oh my God, how come I'm all of a sudden like kicking myself in the face with my thoughts? And then so when we're going through these things, it makes it easy to want to perpetuate that avoidance and to go, what can I do to calm this? How can I seek outside of myself to fill this void or whatever? It is all self-love. But the more that we practice loving ourselves, the better you're going to feel. And this includes, okay, cool. Hey, guilt, thank you. Thank you for being here. Because if there wasn't that contrast of guilt, I would not have sought out new ways to create a new reality of innocence. Ooh. Therefore, I can be totally grateful and embrace guilt. And by doing that, we transmute it. Because I am fully able to love guilt. Because it has provided me new avenues and ways of being that are no longer reflecting of that of the old. By letting go of guilt and loving it and saying thank you for being a guide, now I know what I need to do. And it all comes down to, let's just omit that whole thing called wrong. What if wrong did not exist? And what if you just are here to learn? You're being educated in every moment, every situation. Wrong doesn't exist. Imagine a world where wrong doesn't exist, where you are just learning, like the innocence of a child. We are all learning, like the innocent children that we are, in this reality that is very interesting. But we all chose to be here to evolve. And the only way to evolve is to be accountable. And how do we be accountable if we are avoiding the essence of who we are based off of an old illusion called guilt? And so a lot of these guilt patterns and whatnot were repeating in my actions, and it was extremely frustrating. And so I had to look at, wow, I'm doing things that are, I had a belief that was saying I was wrong. So me being a hypnotherapist, I created a session for myself saying, you can do things the right way. And it was like, whoa. But it was what I had been working on it so much and bringing it to the surface and slowly massaging it going, what can I learn from you? What can I learn from you? To the point where it was easy to, and I'm not saying I fully resolved it, but I did realize the other day, I'm like, oh, wow, so much of marketing based off of guilt. You're not a good enough person unless you buy this. Whoa. Here's something to ponder. Would manipulation exist if guilt did not? I can feel that in my body when I ask that question. Can you feel that? Would manipulation exist in a world where guilt did not? Would manipulation exist if guilt did not? I thought of that earlier this morning. I was like, whoa, this is some deep shit. And it doesn't mean that we're not good enough if we don't understand this. And here's the thing is that if there's a reflection or any feeling that you're experiencing of that you're not good enough for understanding what I'm saying, then it's actually, so just know that you are love. You are love. And the time's going to come where, and it's not, again, we can't fixate on guilt because that's not how we heal. The way that we heal guilt is by focusing on our innocence and how I'm just a child doing the best that I can based on what I know, based on the resources that I have. Okay? As you are as well, as you are all innocent, beautiful, wonderful, radiant human beings. Some people know their purpose, some don't. That's awesome. It's okay if you don't know why you're here. It's okay. Doesn't mean you're wrong or broken. It means you're learning. It means you're evolving. It means you're okay. We are a collective on this earth right now that is extremely important. Each and every one of us, your unique awesomeness, your unique awesomeness. I don't even want to call them flaws anymore because that kind of perpetuates the whole that something's not right. And if something's not right, and then we have to go into acceptance, a lot of these different things that we have integrated into our reality, we can defragment from these different aspects. So, Bridget's saying, but I need to know. And one of the things that I've been also working on in this whole process is letting go of the need to know things or of the need to be anything other than me. I wanted to learn how to let go of beliefs that work against my heart. I want to let go of anything that's holding me back from loving more. And yes, there's the irony is that we have to focus on love and focus on being the best we can. But here's even that word best implies that something's not right. So here's the thing, is that just being is where we're moving into. And so being still with yourself and knowing that you are worthy of your stillness and being here, You can find comfort within yourself, but it has to start with little baby steps. It's like you got to get out the Gerber mashed pears and start small. You know, if we don't know how to love ourselves, then we go, oh, I'm not good enough because I don't love myself. No, it's because nobody's ever fucking taught us how to love ourselves. So be easy on yourself, okay? Be nice to yourself. You know, and so here's the thing, and what I'm hoping is that through this video, I'm not trying to say like, oh, here's this amazing stuff, and I hope you know, like, I gotta figure it out right now. This is a huge, huge, huge thing. I've never heard anybody else talk about it like this, or, you know. But I wanted to show you also the joy that comes from moving through these things. You know, I feel very at peace right now. I feel excited. I feel like, myself again. I'm not needing to, like, it's just easier. It feels good. And it comes from practice. And yes, I started practicing a long time ago. And, you know, it's almost like I'm hitting the nail on the head with what even like my deeper like mission is. You know, I started, as Kimberly said, Reiki master. I started with Reiki and then evolved into a new thing. And now that new thing, you know, moving through all the different trainings and whatnot, has actually just been becoming training for me to absorb and defragment, educate and teach, but also actualize innocence from being in the heart center, but also assisting people in getting there as well. And you are enough. We've all always been enough. And what makes it seem as though we're not are beliefs. So we must look at the beliefs that we have and work on changing them. If you need assistance with changing your beliefs to be in alignment with your heart, private message me. This is what I do for work. Okay. Another aspect of things is that I'm going to share who the hell I am right now. I'm Danny. I've been through some shit. And all that shit was necessary to get me to where I am now. I wait tables at a fine dining restaurant 3 nights a week so I can see humans interacting, so I can be a part of life and not just separate in my studio apartment. I love people. Truly I do. I believe in humanity. 100,000%. And it doesn't matter what you have done in the past. It doesn't matter what kind of actions you have. It doesn't matter who you are or what clothes you wear. What matters is your heart. And if you're willing to create new realities and allow yourself to dream, again, dreaming of a world of innocence. I've been practicing rebelling for a while, so I don't like believing in what a lot of other people believe in. So for me, it's a little easier. Even as a kid, I've been rebelling. And I've always been a rebel. the ripple of love, And, here's the thing is that the only thing that limits our dreams are different beliefs that we adopted from other people. So we must learn how to let go of those. Okay? So now, not only do I wait tables at the most amazing restaurant in all of Sedona, I'm also a spiritual life coach. I'm a hypnotherapist. I have been doing energy work since 1999. I am a certified Usui Reiki Master, Lightarian Reiki Master, Master Metatronia Therapist. I studied NLP, Holistic Health. I've done all these different things. I was asking people about what their signs were and studying behavior from the time I was 13, reading self-help books when I was 13 and 14 years old, meditating when I was 17. I'm now 41. And it's okay to be you. It's okay to be a person who's figuring life out. Because nobody knows what the fuck they're doing, except for maybe Tony Robbins. But even then, we're all trying to figure it out, So let's be kinder to ourselves. Allow yourselves to not go that, I'm going to focus on the problem. Focusing on the problem only perpetuates it. Okay? You need to focus on the resolution. And if you don't know what the resolution is, ask. Ask your guides. Believe in angels. Now's a good time to do that. Okay? Believe in your higher self. Believe in yourself based on how you feel. It's all about feeling. Thought's going to fuck shit up. Okay? So, feel your way and navigate into the direction that you want to go. And let yourself go from the need to always needing to know if you're missing out by checking Facebook 24/7. Let go of the need to call up everybody else and ask how they're doing. When was the last time you asked yourself, how are you doing? Okay? So, these are all important things, and self-care, mindfulness, all these different things are ironically what's going to assist you in feeling so much better, especially with all these cosmic waves of light and all that stuff. Ascension symptoms will go away if you love yourself. Truth. Okay. So the irony is that the heart is waking up. The mind must surrender. In order to do that, we have to actually insist upon it to be true through our actions. Okay. Now, I do want to let you guys know real quick. Let's see, I do have some space for coaching clients. If you are wanting to navigate this with a guide on your side, please private message me. We'll set up a time for a consultation. I also have a 10-day challenge on finding safety or feeling safe starting on Tuesday. We're going to start with a 1-hour little class, talk about safety. Because here's the thing, if you're not feeling safe or perceiving that you're safe, it's going to be very hard for you to create through intention, because all of your energy is going to be going into saving yourself and feeling protected and being scared, being in that victim state. So safety and perceiving as though you're safe is really, really important. So we're going to do a 1-hour class talking about safety, the perception of safety. What does it mean to be safe? Your anxiety is going to go away. Okay. You're going to feel more centered. You're going to access happiness. You're going to feel more balanced, way more at peace. The way that your lives change with the people you deal with socially is going to feel so much better too. Okay. So we're going to have this little class in the beginning. Then I'm going to send you an audio file. Okay, it's a hypnotherapy session. integrated with advanced energy healing, and to allow you to shift your whole body and the way that you perceive things in a way of feeling safe, so you can feel at calm at night, so you can let go of any fears. And so, because here's the thing, the antidote to fear is safety. So we're all working with perception. How do we change our perception and know that you can? So the commitment is that you listen to this audio file every day for 10 days. On that 10th day, we're going to have another meeting, 1 hour. We're going to talk about what's changed for you, what's shifted for you. And I'm really excited to hear about people's adventure. I'm only asking a $25 donation. You can always donate more if you want, but not unnecessary. But if you're interested, private message me. If you're interested in consultation, how we can get you on the right track in life and feeling more calm and at peace, private message me. I have 3-month and 6-month long coaching programs that are all integrated with law of attraction, hypnotherapy. I teach you how to heal yourself. I teach you how to do energy work on yourself. We certify you with whatever level of energy healing that you're at. But it's goal-oriented and dream-oriented. What is it that you want to experience? And then as you aim for that, we help you adjust and change your beliefs and perception so you can actually make it become a reality. So it's not typical life coach stuff. Wizard training. Hair flip. All right. So if you're interested in talking to me about anything or any services, just message me. I hope this video was helpful, and I hope that you see what I see in you, even though I don't know you. I can feel you, but we're all doing a great job. And we can say lighten up all you want, but it all starts someplace. And to know that we have the ability to walk in the footsteps of innocence and create a reality that no longer reflects the pains and wounds of the past. So again, please share this video if you found it helpful. All right. Much love. I'm Danny Picard, and have a beautiful night. Okay. All right. Bye.